I'm sure everyone watching this will agree. Fire prevention is a very important skill to know. It doesn't just apply to your house or apartment. It can apply to your friend's house, your workplace, your school, or really even any building you enter. All fires are sad, but house fires, we'll be mainly focusing on, are devastating. Knowing how to prevent fires can remove most of the worry from such a traumatic event. I'll be using homes as an example throughout this video, but a lot of these examples can be transferred over to other buildings. Let's start where 46 to 49% of all house fires originate. The kitchen. The kitchen is a very important part of the house, but it also causes almost 50% of all house fires, according to the NFPA. I'm sure you can guess what causes them, but do you know how to prevent them from happening? The most effective way to prevent kitchen fires is to always be in the kitchen while you're cooking something. Almost every cause of a kitchen fire in the United States is due to unattended cooking, starting fires with no one around to stop it before it gets too big.
I saw this image after I recorded this segment. It's from the Consumer Product Safety Commission. It says, unattended cooking is the #1 cause of home fires.
If the fire does get too big, call 911 immediately and leave the house. If it's small enough to extinguish yourself, use a fire extinguisher. There should be one on each floor of your house, or my example here, this one I just pulled it out from under my sink. If you don't want to get your food covered in fire extinguisher dust, you could just use a pot lid and cover it, even if it's a pan. As long as you're removing oxygen from the fire, like for example using a pot lid, as long as you're removing one of the 3 sides of the fire triangle from the fire, it will suffocate the fire and it won't be able to keep going. You should never use water. Yes, there are cases where you could use water to extinguish a fire, but I would avoid using water in kitchens due to the fact that oil and grease can be present. If you pour water on a grease fire, the grease, which is less dense than water, will start to float. Now remember, this grease is on fire, so pretty much when it goes over the pot or pan lid, you're pretty much spreading liquid fire all over your kitchen, which you don't want to do. Now, if you're like 100% sure that grease and oil are present, yeah, go ahead, put water on the fire. But just be advised that oil and grease can be present and it can cause a big fire. Grease and oil buildup are another big cause of house fires in the United States, right behind unattended cooking. Another common example of house fires are combustible materials, things like paper towels or loose-fitting clothing getting caught in a burner and, well, burning. Another is accidental errors, things like forgetting to turn off a burner or setting the wrong temperature or leaving cooking items in the oven and then forgetting about them. Another very less common example is faulty equipment, so something shorting out in your oven or whatever, causing a fire. Very uncommon, it does happen though. This one is kind of out of your control, but just make sure you don't have a super old oven, or if you do, make sure it's in good condition. Just make sure everything in your kitchen is in good condition. The second reason for house fires is electrical and heating equipment. I hope everyone just takes this as a given, but electrical work should only be performed by trained and qualified professionals. That's why we have tradesmen, because they know what they're doing. The NFPA recommends only plug in one heat generating appliance per receptacle. This is a receptacle, 2 outlets on it. You only plug in one heat generating appliance. The examples of these are things like coffee makers, toasters, Microwaves. What? Actually, don't take anything from my house except for this panel, because the electrical in this house is all messed up. Major appliances like refrigerators, dryers, washers, etc. should be put directly into an outlet. You shouldn't use extension cords or power bars or anything like that, because typically they're not rated for the power consumption that they draw. You should call an electrician or your landlord if you experience things like a rubbery burning smell somewhere, sparks coming from an outlet, yellowing of a receptacle, so an outlet, tingling feeling when you touch an appliance, flickering or dimming lights is another one. These can start fires because they're signs of failing equipment or simply loose ones too, meaning that they're getting warm and they might cause fire. It's as simple as that.
Now, what if a fire does occur? Part 3. Smoke detectors. Part 4 is also related to this.
We are all only humans, and humans make mistakes. Even if we take all the precautions to prevent fires, a fire might still happen. Which is why you should have smoke detectors like the one that's right above me. Along with smoke detectors, we talked about in part 1, fire extinguishers. You know where your fire extinguishers are. I pulled this out of my kitchen again. According to the NFPA, over 65% of all house fire casualties are caused by either non-functioning or non-existent smoke detectors. This means that if you have no working smoke detector in your house, you have a 2 in 3 chance of not surviving a house fire. It's a grim thought for sure, but it's reality, and this stuff happens. You should have working smoke detection in your house. I'm not saying that you have to, but you should be testing your smoke detectors at least once a month. Not gonna lie, I don't. Alright, shut up. The NFPA recommends having an interconnected smoke alarm system. Now, what in the world does this mean? Well, an interconnected smoke alarm system pretty much acts like a normal smoke alarm system, but instead of like one sounding locally like I did before when I set it off, shut up. It will set off both this one and also all the other ones that are connected. The NFPA also has recommendations of where to put smoke detectors. You're coming with me. The NFPA recommends having one in each bedroom, one in each corridor space, and one in every major open room. This room isn't required to have one because there's a smoke detector right there, as well as one right here. Also, if you have a super long hallway, there should be a smoke detector every 25 feet. An aspect I did not mention in that around my house trip was that really, with smoke detectors in bedrooms, you should have a smoke detector in every room that's separated by a door. Now, these rooms do not include places like bathrooms or closets, because the water vapor in your bathroom might just like set it off, because these are typically now photoelectric, so it uses lights and lasers, and to the sensor, water vapor looks like smoke, looks like dust, you know, it will set it off. Closets, they're really small. Typically the smoke will escape the closet by the time it reaches the smoke detector anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So just don't worry about the closets or bathrooms. But bedrooms, every open part of your house, you should have a smoke detector in each one of those rooms. Residential doors, like the one that's right behind me, are designed to keep fires out for about 20 minutes. This changes when you go into a commercial building because of fire codes, but we're not going to go there. Now you might be asking yourself, why? That's not a lot of time. 20 minutes? Correct. But if you paired these 20-minute rated doors with things like smoke detectors, you should be fine. Here's a video from the Macon Bibb County Fire Department, which shows pretty much a completely scarred building had a door which led to an almost completely fine room. God. Yes, there are places where it was definitely not unscathed, but the fire department has to knock holes in the walls and ceiling and stuff like that and make sure there's no fire behind it, because they want to get all the fire out. In addition to doors, escape plans are a very important part of fire safety. Even if you're a visitor, you should know how and where to escape the house in the event that a fire arises. For example, if you're in an apartment or a hotel, there should be a plaque with an escape plan on it on the main entrance of your apartment. If there is a fire in the house, you should never re-enter the building until the fire department says you can enter the building. If you know or have a feeling that something or someone is trapped in the building, let the fire department know. The fire department will try their best to rescue the thing or person in question. Because this chapter is quite short, I'm going to add the local resource in here as well. If you live in Buffalo, New York, the Erie County Fire Safety Department can help. You can visit their website at www.3.erie.gov/fire, or you can call 716-681-7111. They specialize in firefighting, fire safety, fire inspections, and they dispatch 97 fire departments in the region. Now, if you don't live in Buffalo, New York, that's fine. I'm sure your local fire department can help as well if you call their non-emergency line. So don't be calling 911 because you want their smoke detectors checked or whatever. Don't do that. It's not an emergency. 911 is for emergencies. Fire departments have their own phone number, which you can call for non-emergencies.
Please note that most of the following links are not here for information sourced from the website, but rather for images or verified documents used in the video. Take the information from the following sources with a grain of salt unless otherwise noted.